welcome to another episode of Business and Beyond's Feature Friday with your host, Tanya Bartolini. I am so excited today because today's guest is Michael Feiger. He is a Marine Corps veteran and business funding expert with over 20 years of experience helping entrepreneurs grow and scale. He's a partner at National Business Capital, where he specializes in helping businesses that are profitable and generating revenue, but struggling with liquidity, secure fast, flexible funding solutions. Michael also brings deep expertise in web development and digital strategy, making him a powerful resource for growth-minded business owners. Thank you, Michael, for joining us today. Welcome.
Well, thank you for being part of this great opportunity. I love sharing myself with your audience.
Oh, we appreciate it as well. So, in light of that, would you please share a little bit about you, an overview of what you do, and why you got into what you're doing?
Well, like you mentioned, I've been in the digital space for 15 years, and a lot of my work was with other agencies, digital marketing agencies. They were hiring me to do graphic design and web development and everything else in the digital world. And they kept saying, I'm waiting for my client to get funded so we can begin. And a light bulb went off. And I go, I can do that. So the Marine Corps came out of me, and I just adapt and overcame a problem that my customers were, or my clients were looking for. And I interviewed with a few companies, and National Business Capital was the best that I found, and the relationship is great. And so now my funding business is outgrown my digital area, and so I'm doing this full time now, not just for agencies, but for other types of businesses.
So, what you're saying is you were in a business that you did for a very long time and you enjoyed, and you saw a need that your clients had. So, you pivoted and started giving them, the solution to the problem that you saw they were having.
Exactly. And that solution just it took over everything else I was doing. There was more demand since AI has really changed the marketplace, where most people are doing their own graphics, they're doing their own web design. The need was there now. Funding was an alternative for me to grow my way of helping businesses.
And so was that a conscious decision of let me find something else that I can do? Or was it that you just stayed on top and put your hand on the pulse of your clients, so to speak, and saw that this is something that's trending and decided to go into it?
Well, I was listening to my clients, and when I decided to offer the funding as a service, I realized that the demand was even stronger than I expected. And even though I had a passion for digital marketing, the I saw a bigger need for companies to grow, and it just made me want to do that more. One, because there were just so many companies in need of liquidity that it was a no-brainer for me.
See, and you just brought up a great point that I want to hammer home for a lot of people. When you have a business, things change, the world changes, your clients' needs change. And the only way that you can continue to be successful is by listening to your clients and figuring out what is it that they need and can I provide it? How can I provide it? And let's start doing that. And that's exactly what Michael did. He went from his passion and what he did for 15 plus years with digital marketing. As he said, he listened to his clients, and now he's doing so much better and so much more and providing them with what they need instead of having to close down the business because there isn't enough digital requirements or clients. So pivoting in your business to your client needs is very important. And it's not as hard to do as people might believe and think, right? So you were courageous enough to get out of your comfort zone, right? And offer need based rather than what your skills and your current abilities were, right?
Right, and it wasn't like I jumped into funding, I gradually learned the area of expertise. I come from a financial background. I worked for John Hancock, I worked for MetLife, I worked for Utica National, so I had a really good understanding of this area, but I transitioned slowly until I felt comfortable enough to say, "Wow, this is happening faster and better than what I'm currently doing. I might as well just go where what people are requesting instead of just sticking to what I know best."
And I love that too. So even when you have a business for so long, do not underestimate the power of building a new skill, of learning something new, of getting out of your comfort zone to be able to service your clients in a better and a different way, right?
Yeah. And AI will do that for people where businesses are using AI. The demand for some of the things that they need have changed. So you have to figure out, what is not replaceable by AI, and how can I get into that? And obviously cash is king. So AI can't produce that. So
That's a good one. Cash is king. So what are some of the biggest problems that you see in your industry and how are you overcoming those?
the biggest problem is people have a pre mindset that it's going to require a lot of documents. It's going to take a long time. I don't have enough credit score. And there are companies that do require all those things, but company like National Business Capital can forego all that and base it on elements of risk that will make the transition to getting those funds faster and with less paperwork. And so I had a $2 million equipment financing, and it only took 14 days, and the client was able to buy the additional equipment and continue to grow. So there's so many success stories where we're doing things that the traditional lenders like banks and other lending institutions aren't doing.
Okay, so from my understanding of what you just talked about was educating people about the process and what's needed is probably one of the biggest obstacles that you're having because people have a misconception about what it takes to get a business loan.
Yeah, people aren't thinking fast. They're not thinking flexible. They're not thinking, I can do this or it can be done, and we make it possible.
Okay, and so how are you overcoming that aspect?
That it's really based on my relationship with the person that I'm speaking with. And so, relationship is great, but trust. And so I'm meeting with them, I'm showing them visually. I think visual examples of people in their industry that have succeeded is tells the story, and it gives the people an opportunity to go for it. You got nothing to lose. We don't do hard credit checks. Everything is soft. So let's see what happens.
So, other than speaking to people one on one who are already looking for funding, are you doing like webinars? Are you doing networking? Are you doing lunch and learns? So, what are some of those things that you're doing that are actually helping overcome that gap of the education of people's preset mindsets?
Well, a lot of it has to do with what I'm doing. Like you mentioned, I'm on various network groups. So I go to Alignable as one, and where, my best relationships, my best connections are people that are doing business revenue. They're analyzing business revenue. They're analyzing expenses. They're analyzing a company's growth, such as a tax advisor, a fractional CFO, an accountant, a CPA. Those people are my best resources because they're offering their expertise, and the piece that they don't have is the liquidity and the solution. So they team up with me, and my company pays them for that relationship. So it's a win-win situation. They already have the trust. I'm just coming in as an advisor to help them solve that growth issue.
Okay, and that's something that is phenomenal that you just brought up that I want to make sure that everybody got, which is Michael is not selling to his clients. He is not out there looking for the businesses that need the funding. He is actually going about it, trying to find the affiliates, the referral partners, making an environment for his business that's conducive to helping people, and not just by trying to find those people that might need that help, right? So partnering with the CPAs and the financial advisors, right? Those are people who are already have a network of businesses that need Michael's services. That's the same thing with any business. If you can find your network of people that can help refer you the business so that it's a win-win-win situation, right? That's going to be more beneficial to your business than it is to try to find those one-off clients. And so it's working smarter, not harder. Um,
Exactly.
and
And
thank you
don't get me
for
wrong, I do get leads, from people who have interests. But I find that it's working with the professionals who are directly looking for cash flow for their clients so they can add new locations, so they can, buy inventory for what's going on with the tariff situation. So they can buy a franchise or whatever they need for growth. They've already established there's a need. I'm just teaming up with them.
Yeah, and so that's where that pivoting also comes in. That's where the education part of it, right? Because you're teaming up with other people rather than just trying to do it all yourself, right? And that's what I'm trying to get everybody to understand is as business owners, a lot of us sometimes, and I did this too when I started, feel like we need to know everything. We need to be able to do it all, right? We need to be the receptionist and the funder and the CEO and the janitor and all of it in one. And really, that's not how you build a successful business. Building a successful business is surrounding yourself with the people that can help you grow it, right? And
Exactly. I couldn't say that better myself. It's, when someone asks me real technical questions, I don't want to fake it. I said, look, I have an advisory team. Once I have a 2-minute kind of pre-qualify, and once they meet that pre-qualification, I hand them over to my advisory team, and they make all the decisions. They answer all the questions. So this way, I'm not misleading them or making a promise that can't be kept. The trust is from the beginning through the whole process.
see, and that's another great point that you just made. You don't have to know all of the answers, right? You just have to be able to be honest with your clients and be able to find the answers for them. And I think it's very commendable because I also believe that saying, I will find out for you is a sufficient answer and it builds more trust because people can feel when you're faking it, when you're being inauthentic, or
Right.
when you're scrambling, right? And people will appreciate the fact that you tell them, I will find out for you because that information is not readily available to me. They will appreciate that more than trying to come up with some kind of answer that may or may not be correct.
Yeah, and also with my partners that I team up with, what I work with, the financial professionals that I mentioned earlier, is I'm also sharing my marketing expertise. Like I asked them, do you use LinkedIn? Let me show you how you can increase your relationships with your clientele, which benefits me as well. Let me show you some of the secret sauce that I use and it helps them. And together we grow.
So givers gain, right?
If I give and you give, we both get. That's the key.
That is so true. So I love how you're putting all that together. You're still using your expertise with the digital marketing just in a different way and to grow a different business.
Yep.
So that is fantastic. Um, so what are some of the obstacles, failures, challenges that you have faced either in your current business or the prior business, and how have you overcome them?
I'm a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and the Marine Corps tells you they're the solution for everything. I don't look at things as an obstacle. I don't look at things as a failure. I look at it as an opportunity to learn and to grow. So if I get something, I'm always thinking about, like you mentioned, work smarter, not harder. How can I I'll give you an example. I'm on LinkedIn and I'm looking for a way on LinkedIn to connect my LinkedIn work with a CRM. And what I'm finding is there's all these tools and it gets confusing. But I will find a way to be able to do that so it enhances what I do and I don't have to do it manually. And so those are examples where there's resistance in being organized and I'll find a way. This way I can grow along with the technology.
Okay, so finding new ways of doing things. I love that you said you don't look at things as a failure or an obstacle. It is all a learning experience, and perspective and perception really is everything because we all live in our own realities, right? We all live in whatever it is that we perceive as our environment. And so when you're looking at things and perceiving things as opportunities, especially learning opportunities, stepping stones, and it can motivate you to find the solutions, right? And grow. Just like you said, it can be confusing with all the AI and all the different tools and stuff, but that's what helps you grow and helps you find the best solutions.
And I just don't keep it to myself. I share it with people who also are having those problems. And it's so rewarding to be able to watch somebody succeed. It's just, I love it. I love watching people succeed. And that's, and if I'm succeeding, they're succeeding.
And so what Zig Ziglar said, the more people you help get what they want, the easier it is for you to get what you want.
I'm a big fan of Zig Ziglar. He used to say that when people say, "Oh, I can't," there's no such word as can. Or people say, "I'll try." Try means you don't want to. So make it a statement is, I may not know the answer now, but I will, and I'll find the solution based on my willingness to be open to learning.
And yes, willingness to be open to learning. There is so much in this world. There's no way that any single person can know everything. Right. And so there's always new things. There's always new ways of learning. There's always new things to learn and apply in your business, in your life, whatever it is. And so that I love that. That's what keeps people successful, right? Is pivoting and learning.
And I never get bored, ever, because it's always something that I can do. And I don't feel pressure. There's no pressure because I'm not looking for a sale. I'm not looking to push people. I'm looking to pull. I'm looking to grow, and I never feel like there's a failure. It's like back in the days when I was in my 20s and I'd ask somebody, a young lady, would you like to dance? And she would say, no. And I say, it's okay. I'm just practicing. And she'd go, practicing. And then she'd, let's go dance, you know? So as long as I'm practicing, there's no failure.
And life is a big practice, right?
Yeah.
Practice makes progress. And so, as long as you're practicing, you will always be progressing forward.
I love it. Love it.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. So, now that we've talked about some of the perspectives about challenges, what is working in your business and how did you get it to work well?
Well, I believe in having the right tools. So there are tools that I use, like a good calendar, having a good calendar. So when people say, when are you available? I don't want to go back and forth. And I just say, here's my calendar, pick a day that you like, right? So I make it easy. Another thing other than a calendar would be a good CRM, finding a CRM that works for your business, something that will communicate with some of the other things you're doing. Also, I'm a big advocate and of LinkedIn. And so I love not just spamming people, sending them messages. I enjoy looking for my target audience. Let's say it's people who do cash flow. And I like what they do. I comment what they do. And then I follow what they write. And so I just stay active on their LinkedIn, and they appreciate it. And for some reason, they enjoy my curiosity, and they reach out to me. So it's a great way to build your network.
So you have touched upon a few different points that every business owner should know. One is organization, right? To have a good calendar, you have to have good organization. And so it's imperative when you're in business, the more organized you are, the less stress you will have, the less clutter is going to be in your head because it's on paper, on your calendar. You know, everything has its own time. And the easier it is for your customers and potential customers to book with you, right? At times that are convenient for you as well as for them. The second thing you said was a good CRM. For those of you who don't know, CRM is a customer relationship management software. There are a ton of them out there for different things, and they really do help because they help you track where are you getting those clients? Where are you getting the phone calls? Are they really potential clients or not? Are they just people that you can't help that are calling you? And so when you track and measure, you can make better, you can improve. You cannot improve that which you cannot measure, right? So having a good CRM is really imperative in your business. And the third thing you talked about was customer relationships, right? And that is extremely important because the customers are the lifeblood of your business. And so having a good CRM is going to help you build better relationships with your clients and actually be personal with them, right? The more, the better, the stronger relationships you build, the better your business will be because that's more trust. They will refer people to you. They will appreciate that personal touch and that they're not a number, right? And they're being treated as a person. So I love all of those things that you've said. And those are working for you because you have, it seems like, put in systems.
That's the word, system. I have a system, and part of that system is mentorship. I've found mentors along the way that I continue to learn from. Like you say, you can't know everything. You mentioned Zig Ziglar. He was a mentor of mine. John Maxwell about leadership is a mentor of mine. I read a book that was given to me as a young man. It was called Psycho-Cybernetics, and it was by an author by the name of Maxwell Maltz. he shaped who I am. He gave me the courage to go into the Marine Corps. And then the Marine Corps itself, fortified me with the confidence and the leadership that I use every day in my life.
Mentorship. This is awesome. I truly believe in mentorship. I'm a business coach. I have my own coaches, but I love the fact that you have put a spin on it for people, because most people think to have a mentor, it has to be someone you have to talk to them, you have to, meet with them, whatever it is. And that's not 100% true. You can have mentors like Zig Ziglar, like John Maxwell, without ever meeting them in person,
Right.
right? Reading their books, watching podcasts of people who are where you want to be, right?
Exactly.
And you can use whatever they have out there as your mentor, as mentorship.
And you're one of my mentors too, because I follow you and I've watched, the different things that you've done, and everything is about a system. I watch your system, I emulate your system, and then I watch your success. And so if you want to be good at what you do, just follow you.
That, thank you. We might have to cut that. No, just
No, that's great. No, because I'm a fan, and if I'm gonna be on your show, I want to know about you. Now, we knew each other a long time, and I've seen, you first getting into the network world, and I've watched you build your business, and I'm impressed, and it's an honor just to know you.
well, I can say the same. And thank you so much for those kind words. I'm blushing.
And you can send
Um,
me the $10,000 tomorrow if you like.
most certainly. No, I appreciate, thank you. And yes, and that's because I also have a lot of mentors. This is not me just doing whatever I feel like doing. It's actually following those systems and following other people and what they've done and finding out what aligns with me. Right. And this is why I have this podcast, because I want everybody to understand all business owners go through the same things. We all go through imposter syndrome. We all have procrastination styles. We all feel sometimes overwhelmed. We feel less than sometimes. We have obstacles. And we look at other business owners and go, why don't they have that? Why is it me? Why is it me? And that's not the reality. The reality is every business owner goes through these things at one point or another. And the cool thing is everybody has a different way of overcoming those obstacles. And so sometimes you do what someone else does and it doesn't work out for you. And why is that? Because it doesn't align with you and who you are. But it doesn't make you a failure. It just means that you've learned that is not your style.
That's
And
right.
right. And now you can find a different style and a different person and how they do their business and how they overcome obstacles. And sometimes you might have 20 different mentors with 20 different styles, and you grab different pieces of each one that work for you. Right.
Right. It's like you're a sculpture and you're just putting pieces together and you're shaping it. And at the end you go, wow, you know,
And that's life. That's not just business. That's life. You're
life. Yeah.
constantly shaping who you are to begin with. Right.
Yeah, and there's people in your life, good and bad, that sometimes you're shaping this mold, and they're just like you know chipping away at it, and so you have to believe in yourself, even if they don't. And sometimes you have to put them put them away, because it changes your shape. You want that sculpture, and you need to let them know that this is what you believe, and that those outside voices aren't going to stop you from being who you were meant to be.
I love it. I love it. And on that note, How can people get in touch with you? How can they get a hold of you? How can they talk to you about funding, digital marketing, any of those things?
Well, obviously, you see my background, and that's important. My phone number is on the back. My email is there as well. And also, I'm on LinkedIn. If you Google Michael Feiger, you will see me. Reach out to me, talk to me. I'd love to do a Zoom call, a one-on-one, get to know who you are, and then you get to know me. And even if we don't do anything, it's okay. But I get to share something that I've learned with you.
I love it. And all of that information will be in the chat and at the end of this reel. So, Michael, in closing, if you could give business owners one piece of advice, what would it be to help them succeed?
Well, every business is different, but if you're doing the online world, I would say make sure that you have the right camera, the right microphone, the right computer, so you show up because showing up is important.
Show up. You heard it from Michael Feiger here on Feature Friday. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you at the next episode.